you got a chance to ask the president a question, what would you ask him?
Could you lower tuition?
Jerry, do you know who Dr. Michael Martin is?
Isn't that the country singer or something?
Actually, no. He's the president of the
Oh,
university.
really?
Yeah. Yeah, that Michael Martin.
All right.
Hey, if you had a chance to ask Michael Martin a question, what would you ask the president?
Well, since I now know who he is, I'd probably ask him something about the rising tuition costs, because that seems kind of weird to me that it's a non-profit organization, yet tuition keeps getting higher and higher.
We discussed a little bit about the Pistol Pete situation, which I've told you there's some students that were concerned about that. But there were two other things that students wanted to discuss. One of them I actually thought was legitimate, and the other one, well, they're just, okay.
Shoot.
You know, sometimes that they get a little, they're cheap is what it is.
Yeah.
Tuition. Tuition at this school just got, it went up a little bit.
And it'll probably go up a little bit more. You know, the cost of running the institution.
Well, you didn't even hesitate. I need a new car, son.
I don't want to be dishonest, but we may have to bump it up a little bit more this year. It's still a hell of a buy, and I think that's known nationally. And I understand that these students are under some pressure, and I'm hoping we can find ways for those students who are particularly under pressure to offset higher tuition.
Such as maybe they could go out and get a job.
There's more, and I hope
you know, like other people do.
But I understand the tuition pressure. On the other hand, in this state, and particularly at this institution, the student pays less than 30% of the total cost of their education, which is a pretty nice subsidy.
That's a good deal.
The average nationally for public universities is 43%, so we're below that. It doesn't excuse the fact that it's fiscal pressure, but I would much rather give students, even with the strain of higher tuition, a high-quality education than discount it by not investing in good faculty and good programs. In the long run, I know this is hard for some people to digest in the short run. In the long run, they're better off if we can build a quality university, because their careers and their futures will be better as a result.
And that's the one thing I agree with you 100%
and so we're not going to do it on the cheap, but we're going to do it efficiently. So we'll probably kick it up again. And part of it is that the legislature funds us in a goofy way, because they give us a budget and then they project a percentage of our tuition revenue and subtract it back out. So in effect, we pass that on to the students. So this year, they took 3% of our projected revenue from tuition back out of our budget and effectively said to us, pass at least 3% on in a higher tuition. It's the way it is. It's okay, and I still think it's a good buy.
I'm a retired professor of English, and I was a teacher for about 42 years. Well, I think that you're in a good place. You should see the tuition at DePauw, the place where I taught.
Yeah, it was a little.
Oh, gee. You know, I could never have afforded to go there as a student.
A little digital hair on my head, but... So I came here, I spent some time looking at the place, I waited a little while, I started thinking about how to cast a new image. And so about 6 months into it, I began to try to define for me and carry on a conversation about what one university would mean to us. What does it mean to be one?
What is it going to mean in the future?
Well, I hope what it means in the future is that we establish a reputation in some key areas that we're good at, that would cause someone around the world who had that particular problem or issue to say, we better call NMSU. Your show is sort of a symbol of one university. You've reached into a very number of venues here. You haven't stuck to a single theme. You've reached across the institution to tell people some stories, clever stories, entertaining stories about this place.
Some of them kind of crazy.
Some of them are. Let me just make it clear about a couple things, and it includes the mascot and everything else. I'm going to promise you two things that you can hold me to. One is that whatever I do, whether people agree with it or not, and I'm fully open, there's only one purpose: to make this a better university. Now, I may do it wrong, but you can count on the fact that if I'm doing it, it's because that's what I believe in.
Anything you want to tell the president?
Good job.
If there's something, if you were president of the university, what would you do? What's like the first thing you'd do?
About anything?
Yeah, like if I was president of the university, the first thing I would do is put a jacuzzi in my office.
Yeah,
I'd put a jacuzzi in, and I'd hire like some really hot secretaries from Hooters.
Great universities never accept okay as okay.
They're pushing for excellence.
They're always pushing. And the really great universities make mistakes.
Well, and I'll tell you, doing this show, finding out what it takes to, whether it's kickboxing or traveling at the Commission for the Blind or driving a super truck, it's so strange that you mention that, because that seems to be the most common theme, is that you can't be afraid to make mistakes.
You got to get
You've
out
got
there
to
a
go
little
out
bit.
there, be bold, be strong.
And that's one of the things
face
about
the day.
getting older and balder and been around. I mean, I got nothing.
Is that
left to
balder
do.
or bolder?
Well, a little both.
A little
bolder
both.
and balder.
I don't got no hair. I might as well be bold now.
I said to the governor the other day, I had a chance after our meeting with the governor, I said, I understand this is going to be the year of the child. I appreciate that. Couldn't next year be the year of the middle-aged bald guy? We never get a year. Old people get years. Pregnant women
Or
get
the
years.
slightly unattractive redhead.
Well, yeah, and the little goofy redhead. That would be a... So, anyhow, that's
You
kind
called
of
me goofy. It's crushed my ego.
I think you've demonstrated it.
Martin. Do you know who Michael Martin is?
He's the president of this fine establishment, this
Wow.
university. Yeah.
That's super cool that you know that. You know, many people mistake him for Michael Martin Murphey.
The country and western singer.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Very good.
okay.
Actually, we went out and we shot some footage with him. And,
Really?
Although one thing that I have noticed in the Aggie approach to running a college is
Right.
they employ something called Cowboy Logic. Have you
Okay.
ever heard of Cowboy Logic?
I'm vaguely familiar.
Yeah, you know, there's a great song by Michael Martin Murphey. In fact, why don't we go to that right now?
There is a great American hero that we all look up to. And when times are hard and chips are down, he knows just what to do. A cowboy's got a set of rules that he lives by day to day. And if you ask for his advice, he'll more than likely say, if it's a fence, mend it. If it's a dollar bill, spend it before it burns a hole in the government's jeans. If it's a load, truck it. If it's a punch, duck it. If she's a lady, treat her like a queen. That's cowboy logic. Every cowboy's got it. It's in the way he lives his life, songs he sings. You'd love cowboy logic. Every cowboy's got it. Got a simple solution for just about anything. If it's a job, do it. Put your old back into it. Cause a little bit of dirt's gonna wash off in the rain. If it's a horse, ride it. If it hurts, be like John Wayne and hide it. Dust yourself off and get back on again. That's cowboy logic. Every cowboy's got it. It's in the way he lives his life, songs he sings. That's cowboy logic. Every cowboy's got it. He's got a simple solution for just about anything.